is what people call, it's like the drunk tank. And when I lived in Columbus before, I worked for a company that provided medical, dental, vision for the homeless. This is one of my favorite jobs, being with the homeless and being out in the woods. We'd always be in the woods looking for homeless people and providing services. Sidebar, I actually stayed outside for 2 weeks in the winter with a veteran because he said he wouldn't go to the doctor because they were going to cut his other leg off. He already had one leg. And he told me if I'd stay out in the woods with him in his shanty, which was dope. And he was cool. He wasn't he would go to the doctor. And so I did. And so he did. And so he got to save his leg. Anyway, I get sidetracked. So during that job, I went to different Mary Havens and provided services. I went to the women's program, the main building, and I went to the engagement center. I became very good professional friends with a lot of people through that. When I got my bachelor's degree, I went to college with some people who worked there. So they take me to the engagement center, and I was so fucking embarrassed. Here I was, I don't know, maybe 8, 9, 10 years prior, was Sally super social worker, was blood, sweat, tears for the community, for homeless, I just loved it. I loved it because I could relate, and totally different way that I do now too, which is better. So anyway, I was just so fucking embarrassed because, here are these people that I used to stand side by side professionally, that I was I was an executive board member of the Columbus Coalition of the Homeless. I was very active, and I loved it. I've always desired to work with populations of people who were the most underserved and disregarded the most. The homeless population, people with developmental and intellectual and physical disabilities as well. Add on if they're those that, identify as that, and also a minority or a person of color. 10 times worse. So anyway, I loved it. I loved it. So I walk in, and the gentleman who is running the show there now is one of the persons I had a professional relationship with and graduated and went to college with for our social work degree. And I remember my head was down, and he was absolutely amazing. And I don't know if I ever shared with him about how amazing that felt, because he just put his arm around me. He's like, "I'm just so happy you're here." And there was very few people on this part of my journey that treated me that way.